Hello everyone, it's Wendy here from Wendy's Crafty. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator living in Narberth, Pembrokeshire. Now, I made a tutorial yesterday, and it was awful. It didn't have any noise, any volume or anything. So I thought, start a fresh day. Now, this is quite a big project because I'm going to make this and the cards also. Right, now that you've seen who I am, I'm making a lantern. So this is the measurement. You've got cut a piece of whatever paper you like, DSP or whatever. And first of all, I think you try it on a blank old piece of card first, which I should have done. It's 10 3/4 by 6, and you score it then. This is the paper I'm using today. It's from Simply Elegant Designer Series paper. This is the new catalogue. Right, so that's that. Now that I score it at 2 3/4, 5 1/4, 7 3/4, 7 3/4, and then 10 1/2. Just gives you that little bit of room for sticky things. Now then, so turning it down, like it says here, the small tab on the top, score up 1 inch. Okay. Now what I've also done, I've also used my die. Obviously just cut these out. I thought cut these out beforehand and then you won't be bored by watching me cutting out. So I was left with these. What I did was I found a little I've got one of these stamp punches, and I stamped some blanks out of just old sheet, any bit of paper. Don't throw much away. As you can see here, I keep all of them, and I just sort of punch out tabs and things like that. Then you've got some then. So don't throw these away, because you can actually line this up like that, and then you've got a lovely matte and layered sentiment. Right, like I was saying. Right, yeah. Now then, this 1 inch one is these at the bottom. So what we're going to do, we want to cut up these, and then just bevel them, just slope them very, very slightly. That way you're cutting the bulk off, and it just helps the whole putting things together a bit. And one day, oops, I'm going to whip it out, anyway. So I have. What have I done wrong? Oh, there we are. Now then, with this bit at the side here, with these, as you can see, I've cut it too short. So what I did was I cut this bottom piece off, and I just slanted the piece at the top. So just to give you that extra bit of things, extra space to stick on. Right, now then, now what you have to do, be very careful, and you're going to fold all of these inwards. Don't use a bone folder. You don't need to do that, but what you do need to do is you've got to be careful, because as you can see there is not a lot of distance there. And I did one the other day, practice, fortunately, and it broke. So there we are. You can see the lantern coming together now, can't you? Right, now what I would suggest also, if I can find it, now these I've cut from the All Things Fabulous stamp set. It's a multi-layer stamp, and then you've got the dies, but you've also got this beautiful lacy one, and I bought this set just for that die. But However, you don't have to use these dies. I mean, if you've got any other Stampin' Up dies, then you can adjust the size and width and everything to fit your die. Right, now, if you look, I don't know whether you can see it on here, this side is slightly more embossed than that side. So, and you see that side looks flat. So, what we need to do now, we need to stick that in there, okay? I'm going to sit down for a minute. Oh my, it's so hot today. So what we need to do now, on the piece that's embossed, just put a little bit on the top and a bit on the bottom. Oopsie daisy. Now, don't forget, this does dry clear. However, it's... Oops, there we go. Kitchen all over the place. It does dry clear but sticky. So what you need to do is once it's dry and you don't want it to stick to everything else, then get one of these, what's it called? Embossing buddies. You know, they got like cornflour or cornstarch in them. And then just go boop, 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 over the top, and there we go, as they say. Right, one before the last. Right, what I'm going to do now after, oopsie daisy, after I've done this now, I'm going to leave it for a minute to dry while I get on and do the card that goes with this. There we are, all dry, all done there. Now then, the cards, if I can find it. Oh yes, here we are. Now, from the, because this was a 12 by 12, from the 12 by 12, I cut 6 inches first, and then I cut to 10 3/4, and that leaves me with a little bit of this. I thought, what am I going to do with that now? So, what I did was, I took this, which is my, I mean, I don't know how many times I've used this, like, I mean, I've used it rather a lot. So it is my go-to flower stamp. It's got beautiful sentiments. So what I've done is, where is it? I stamped this on a piece of card and I put a sentiment on it. Oh no, yeah, I told you about that, didn't I? Yes. Now what I'm going to do, I don't want to put another layer on this card, so I'm doing a faux mat. You can just see a little bit of that. So now then, oh yes, right. So You Make Me Everything Better is from the Nothing's Better Than Coffee, Cookies, Cocktail, Chocolates. And after I've done that, I'm going to go. The first thing I'm going to do, after I stop wittering, you just try for a bit, is, like I said, I cut the 6 inches first, and then I cut the 10 3/4. I'm left with this piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on the outside of the cards. I just think this has got a right way and a wrong way, so I'm just going to move that up there a bit. I'm going to put that there, and it fits beautifully. I haven't had to cut anything off that. Now, I think this was another one of those cards that was in my reduce, reuse, recycling box. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this on there. It is best, if possible, that you leave each thing to dry, because otherwise you just make a mess, and you have to redo it because it's slipped or whatever, or I've got a bump on it, a splodge. So I'm going to leave that because I'm going to let it dry. Now that was due to me touching that before it had dried properly, so I will cover that over later on. Everything can be covered, can't it? Right, now then, I hope I haven't done is that bit there, oh my. This is the space. I forgot to put the bottom on this. So this needs to be about 2.5 by 2.5. 2.5 of it. 2.5, here we go. If I'd been a bit more clever, I would have got some of this black stuff to put on it, but there we are, never mind. Right, now then this is it. Oh, Wendy, put that away before you put your fingers in it. Oh, by the way, that green, Evening Evergreen, is part of the 5 new colours we have got now for the next 2 years. Right, I'm using some finger lift tape. I used glue the other day and I wasn't totally happy with it. Now this is a take pick tool and that is very useful for that. And this side then you've got some putty so that you can pick up your rhinestones. Turn this over and you've got a spatula at the end of it as well. So lots of use for little tools, and there's also, I believe, a brush that you can adapt to it, but I'm not sure about that one, so please don't quote me. Right, so now then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this piece back like that and just put that extra little bit of glue on there. Sometimes you just need a little bit of extra sticky. And then I'm going to bring this area, this piece, back and line it up with the outside, you know, the top and the bottom. Get your finger up, Wendy, come on. And just line it up and smooth it down. I have got somewhere some of the non-stick thingy-jigs. Right, so now you've got the square. So what I do now is I'm going to very carefully, because I didn't do it just now, did I? I didn't score these pieces. Maybe it's me trying to be a bit more adventurous today, I don't know. Right, now then, get me a bit of glue. Now, everything is going to be sticking to everything else, so just put a bit of glue onto everything, but not in the middle. Okay? Why I'm saying that, because this is the bottom bit, so it's going to stabilise the whole thing. Whoops. If you turn it upside down, see it's a bit wonky, but dig the tool in and press it down. You make sure that you have centralised it as well. It does help that it's not sticking out all over the place. But if you remember, just have a bit of the black or a darker colour on the inside. So there we are. There's the lantern. And now I must say, do not put a live candle, a lit candle in there, which is why I'm using, why I'm using this in my lantern. So there we are. You've got a lovely lantern there. You can send, and a lovely card to go with it. Now I've got some, I'll have to wait for that to dry, but I've got some things I can put on that to take away the splodge. All right, lovelies. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Bye.